Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday was a shit show. Today I'm gonna try my best to be much more disciplined. I say that even though I did take a trade pre-market, um, that was a loser. So again, continuing yesterday's mistakes today. Um, but seeing as how, I don't know, it's a reset. Today's a new day. It looks like we do have a trend starting to form on the 15 minute, obviously on the shorter time frame chart as well. Had I waited, so here I went short. Um, Obviously the wrong move to do. But what was happening is we were around here, and so we were definitely in a downtrend on the 15 minute, uh, which is why I wasn't playing for this bounce. But I think with pre-market, because all of this is so little volume, I feel like it means absolutely nothing. Like absolutely nothing. Because soon as some volume comes in at like 8:30, that's when we had this spike up. So like everything before here was on low volume. So I don't believe it meant anything. Um, so another lesson learned. So we got 10 minutes. Looking at this pre-market action, it looks like all the indices are up slightly. It looks like I might have a trend play today. See if I can basically stop the bleeding, get a couple winning trades, and just start off on a much better note. I think total I am down $209. I started out with 5,000. First day I went up 40 bucks. Second day I lost that plus some, and then this morning I lost another 21.60. So quickly moving in the wrong direction. Let's see if we can turn that around. I think I'm gonna wait a bit longer for my entries. Typically I try and get in before the VWAP. I think now I'm really just going to be patient and wait to see if it crosses and or see if I can get an entry on the other side, expecting the trend to continue. I'm also going to wait for the open um, to take a trade. Now that I know there's only 9 minutes, um, things get weird, especially here. This 8:30, this candle, these two candles is 8:30, and that's when a lot of other markets open, a lot of trading platforms, and so a lot of volume came in here. And as you can see, it's been decreasing. Volume's coming down. But I think this is good for us. Low volume red candles. So funny, the day before when I was in the demo account, it was like 3 for 3 on a easy trend day. Uh, first day trading in the live account, fairly easy trend day. Made a couple mistakes, but 2 for 2. And then yesterday I just got chopped alive, and then pretty much abandoned my plan at that point, which is why I had a big red day. So today, um, try best to learn from our mistakes. See if we can grow this account. So I'm a little conflicted as to whether I take this pre-market trend, at least since 8:30, into account when I'm looking at these candles, or whether I don't consider anything that happened pre-market once 9:30 hits. So for instance, if this were to come down at the opening and hit here, that would typically be an entry signal for me. But if I start at the open, then I would have to wait for it to give me a second entry, if that makes sense. Just either this comes down in the next 3 minutes, hits around here, and then I would expect the bounce, and then we move higher and I take that trade. Or if I wait for the first 15-minute candle to end on the opening, then I don't know where that is. But then the next time I get a signal. Um, so I guess I have to decide if this level of volume is sufficient enough to consider this a retest, or if I start clean at the open. Um, I'm not sure what the best plan of action is, honestly, um, but we'll see. I'm also not 1,000% sure that, you know, 10, 10 points, 5 points is like optimal, like stop loss and the profit. Um, but this is early. I guess I just keep doing this until I have enough data to say one way or another if I need to tighten stops and profits or what the case is. It's just too early to tell and to make tweaks to um, a strategy, knowing that I'm not very far into seeing how it works. Okay, looks like we're coming into the open, we're coming down, and we're moving. So I'm going to take that. Obviously, we're using that pre-market movement, at least this time. We'll see if it continues to flush down or we pick it back up. And so we will take profit at, before pre-market highs, if it goes that way. And it would have been nice if I could have ticked this. I'd set a limit. Let's see if we can keep momentum in our favor. There's a lot of volume in here. Not so much pre-market up here, so maybe we can push up. Let's see. Nothing to do but wait. Not too much telling over here on the 15 as far as the MACD. We're still above 0, but not by much. back down. Again, it seems like we're undecided on the open. Which is a little annoying because this is what happened yesterday. And it turned out to be a hard day to trade because there was no obvious trend. Still have 8 minutes on this opening 15-minute candle. And we're really not picking a direction. Like when it goes, it'll go. When that happens, who knows? What direction? Again, who knows? It's just we're at the height of the market right now, near all-time highs. So it's like either in the next several days we're either going to push higher or there's going to be some, mini pullback in the entire market. But for now, we've just been consolidating near the top. And the past couple days, other than the CPI day, which had some news to push the market in a direction. It looks like there just hasn't been a ton of follow through. Maybe we might make some movement. We're about halfway to my profit target. I'll come back down. About 5:30 left on the opening 15-minute candle. See if we can break. Okay, we've got some movement now. I was wondering if in these scenarios if I'm supposed to move my stop loss up to my entry. I think that would make sense to at least not lose money. It looks like we're moving right now, so that's good. Shouldn't have to worry about it. But I guess if it comes down that far, it might not be coming up. Let's go, go, go. Let's get to, oh, look at that, one tick away. Struggling. But we should be getting there. I really wish I had made that pre-market trade. Okay. We got a win in the books. Now does this just run away for the rest of the day? Or can I get a second entry? This was pretty good. I'm happy with this. Pretty good entry. 10-point move. About 13 minutes for that to happen. 13-minute trade. Okay. So that is a small win of the long road back to profitable. So another entry wouldn't come until we're around here. Might not ever come, to be honest with you. I would like to figure out a system for pre-market trading because it's just easier for me time-wise. By the time 9:30 rolls around, I got work, family, kids, wife, breakfast, so much stuff going on that it'd be nice if I could do this at 8:30 instead of 9:30. Now that I think about it, this MACD, because it's time based, it doesn't take into account any volume whatsoever. This was irrelevant. So the only reason I went negative here was because I was looking over here and I was just like, oh, MACD is very bearish. But that doesn't take into account that there's no volume involved, just time with no action. And so I got to keep that in mind. Like having a tick chart on one thing and then time on another, it's not always going to match up. So back here, we're trading well above the average. And to be honest, my first thought was to go long here until I looked over here and saw that we were bearish on the MACD, and then I thought, oh no. And so I wasn't really thinking clearly here because I was thinking of going long, and that would have worked out. But so I know for future states, got to keep that in mind. So as long as the day keeps, we might whipsaw back and forth, but I'd be good to take another trade if this gets up. Just maybe around this area, this high volume area. Uh, my stop would be 02. Yeah, I could maybe get in this area over time. I did a little bit of research on yesterday when that Trump tweet or news thing came out about possibly like replacing or firing Jay Powell. I realized that that totally throws off the VWAP if some news comes out midway and it throws the averages off. And so basically, my whole trading plan is based off the VWAP. So that just goes out the window. When something like that happens and it veers so far off, like my trading plan doesn't work anymore. So I'd have to find something else. Oh, there we go. I wonder what this looks like if I changed it to. Yeah. So I changed it to a 3000 tick chart, and right where I entered previously, where it was bearish on the time candle, here it's still at least zero or above zero. So I'm not sure. Maybe because it's crossing over, I might have I might have gone long here had this been my chart. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to mix charts. Let me ask Claude. I'll put it here. Does it make sense to mix time and tick charts in pre-market 515 min MACD was bearish, but the 3000 tick chart wasn't. I base entries off 1000 tick chart. Success. Mixing time and tick charts can be effective, but they're measuring different things, which can lead to the divergence you experience. Time charts show price action over fixed time periods, while tick charts show price action over fixed number of transactions. In pre-market trading, the difference becomes more pronounced because your 15-minute MACD was bearish because it's measuring momentum over time. The 3000 tick chart wasn't because it's measuring momentum over transaction volume. In pre-market, fewer transactions occur per minute, so a 15-minute period might contain much less trading activity than during regular hours. The logic of your approach using the 1,000 tick chart for entries makes sense in pre-market because the tick charts adapt to actual trading activity rather than arbitrary time periods. They provide more consistent price action regardless of when you're trading. In low volume pre-market conditions, they can give cleaner signals than time-based charts. Considerations for mixing them. Use time charts for longer term context and overall market structure. Use tick charts for precise entry exit timing, especially in varying volume conditions. Be aware that signals may conflict. The tick chart is often more responsive to immediate price action. Consider the average tick volume for the time of day you're trading. Approach using time for broader context while relying on tick charts for entries is actually quite sound, especially for pre-market trading where volume inconsistencies can make time-based indicators less reliable. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I was thinking. So I asked another question. Is the 15-minute chart giving me anything a 3,000 tick chart isn't? There's a couple things. Time-based context, obviously. Volume independent perspective shows price momentum regardless of trading activity. Sometimes slow and steady moves over time are more meaningful than quick bursts. But it says here's the key. In pre-market, the 15-minute chart is probably giving you less useful information than the 3,000 because pre-market volume is so inconsistent that 15 minutes might contain 200 ticks or 2,000. The MACD becomes less reliable. For pre-market trading, the 3,000 tick chart is likely more valuable than the 15 minute. 15-minute becomes more useful during regular hours when you want to understand how your tick-based signals fit into the broader time-based market structure and institutional flow patterns. You might consider dropping the 15-minute for pre-market and picking it back up for a regular trading session. That's what AI thinks. Sounds smart. I would have been 2 for 2 today had I asked that question earlier, but I did not. Let's switch those back to what the 5-minute looks like. Wonder how my stocks are doing. Down 0.5% today. Everything I hold is basically an earnings week. Netflix, IBM, Intuit, Texas Instruments. Hopefully they all pop after earnings. O'clock. I might be done for the day. I'll do some little research and maybe get into some of these other strategies. These low volume plays. You see all the volume here on the right. Basically taking entries here, like use these as support zones. Obviously, you can do the same thing by just looking at this range, which is all this is. But I like the visual of having it on the side because you can kind of just say a lot of volume transacted here. So maybe your entries here, and then you can set a tight stop loss, like outside there, I guess. And then just expect it to fill this gap. So you take profit here. And so what I would have done for the next time is instead of playing the VWAP on this pullback, I could have thought to get in around here and then exit basically here. But then have my stop loss like right there. So much smaller, tighter, looking for fewer points. But then part of me thinks, am I just doing that because I'm bored and I want to trade? So I'm just looking for excuses to trade more? I don't know. I don't know. At 26.50 on the day so far. So we got that first losing trade, 28.75. Winning is 50. So interesting that on all the losing trades, there's like slippage. Like $50. This is supposed to be 25. Fees. Could bring in my stop loss a little bit to basically kind of account for the fees and slippage. that a double top? Because it's not confirmed until it breaks right here. So it's still kind of in no man's land. The neckline. All right. Well, I got some stuff to do, so I'm going to step away for a little bit, but I'll just let this run. So it's 3:22 now. Just going to recap the day. You can see after my last trade, the market just trended up for the rest of the day. Um, Eventually, I'm going to start letting runners run. I'm just trying to get my risk reward. I just want to make sure that, the 1 to 2 is working, it's profitable, and after I've made sufficient progress with kind of fixed stops, then I will start playing around with letting them run. The reason I'm keeping it mechanical now is just because the pressure of knowing when to get out. I don't want to deal with that really right now. Because, every single one of these pullbacks that have been like, oh, are we coming back? Do I need to get out? Here, definitely. A lot of people probably got panicked and shaken out on this candle. And then you're just kind of got to watch it all day. You can set a runner, but people's runners definitely got stopped out here, might get stopped out here. So it kind of depends on how far you set it, but I guess I'll learn that coming. Last trade of the day, I think this one was actually took like 35 minutes, but came back here, entered on this retest of the VWAP. We went up almost to my take profit, which was right here. Came all the way back down. Had me a little nervous, but ultimately we came back up. On this play, I moved my stop loss up to my entry to break even, and it could have almost cost me this trade. So I'll keep that in mind for the future. My second trade of the day was at opening. See right here. Came back down from pre-market, touched the VWAP, little bounce here, and then eventually we went up and made my move. So those were the two winners of the day. The loser was this in pre-market, and I know we talked about this pre-market. I was under the assumption that we were in a bearish pattern, looking at the 15-minute, but we were in a bearish pattern with zero volume. So it was kind of divergent there. It was, we were still bullish on my tick chart. Starting from here, we're still in a bullish pattern. But over here, we were very bearish, as you can see, kind of down here with the MACD. So that scared me from going long when I should have went long here. Could have been 3 trades, but it wasn't. So shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I'm pretty happy with today, especially after yesterday. So today I'm up 74.60 on the day. Look at the performance. 2 wins, 1 loss. Good ratio, gross P&L 71. Was 100 before, 100 minus my losses, 28.75. But pretty happy with performance today. So you can see the trades of the P&L. Lost 30, made 50-50. And if we look at the account balance, we can see ending of day 1, the 15th, I made 41. Yesterday I lost 228. Today I made 74. So we really got to keep these days under control. We got to be the best loser. This could have easily been like a $50 down day, but it wasn't because I just kept messing up. So that's the update for today. Pretty happy with today's results, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like and subscribe and all that YouTube jazz.